So here we have Phyllis Brickson, who is, again, my husband Pat Brickson's mom. And she's here to make Lefse. And guys, did she do an awesome job? Fantastic job, yeah? Very good. Right? She did a fantastic job, didn't she? Yeah. And here's some of all of our signs. Awesome. Okay, so Phyllis, I'm going to take a moment and we're going to just ask you a few questions. So now you tell us a little bit about Phyllis. Where did you grow up and what school did you end up going to?
Okay, I lived on a farm and I went to a country school. It was maybe like 3 miles from where I lived. And I had a teacher named Miss Duffy. She had red hair and freckles. And you know, when it got to be winter, I couldn't go to school because the snow was so high and the old car wouldn't go because the road was always flooded. So the teacher would come over to our house, and I can remember when I was in 1st grade, sitting on her lap, she was teaching me how to read. And I just loved her, she was so sweet. And then when I was in the 2nd grade, my mom decided that I should go to Catholic school. So I went into East Grand Forks and lived at my aunt's house and went to Sacred Heart. And that was really nice because we had all the sisters were our teachers and stuff. But I was really lonesome because I wanted to go home out on the farm where I grew up. So then I got to go home because I cried all the time. And then I stayed out there and I went to school in Fisher till I was in the 7th grade. I could go on the school bus. I have to walk a mile to catch the bus. And the first bus that I went on, it was just square, orange bus. And they didn't have any heaters in the bus, but they had charcoal burners that we put our feet on. They were just little squares like this, and they had the charcoal burning in them, and you just put your feet on there to keep your feet warm. And so then when I got in the 8th grade, I went back to Sacred Heart, when I was really happy because I knew all the kids from when I was in the 2nd grade. And then when I was in the 9th grade, I had to go to St. James Academy, which was over in Grand Forks, because my uncle and aunt that lived there had a little girl about 7 years old, and they worked nights, so they wanted me to stay at their house, so I could babysit because I was like 13 then, you know. So I did that, but I didn't like it there because St. James didn't like Sacred Heart, and I did. You know, there were really rivalries in their games and stuff. So I managed to live through it, and then I got to go back to Sacred Heart for 10th, 11th, and 12th grade. So I graduated from Sacred Heart just like Mrs. Brickson did.
Yay!
And then I got married and had a family and lived in Fisher.
You want to tell them? I always like your Sacred Heart stories.
Oh, with the bad one?
You got to tell them that one.
I can tell it.
You can tell it.
Don't do this when you get to school, high school. My friend and I skipped school one day. And we'd have an hour off at noon because they didn't serve lunch in school, so we had to go home for lunch. And then there was a store about 3 blocks from school, and it was a place where it was like a soda fountain, you know, they had sundaes and stuff and sold lots of books and magazines. And so we went up there and we kind of hid behind the magazines until all the kids went to school. And then we walked across the bridge and went to the movie.
Oh,
man.
Fun.
Oh, that was so fun. Until then,
Listen.
about 7 o'clock, the phone rang, and I answered the phone.
Oh, no.
This is Sister Mary John. I said, hello, sister. You didn't come to school this afternoon. No, sister. She said, what did you do? I said, I went to the movie. Well, she said, you come into my office and I'll talk to you on Monday morning. That was the longest weekend of my life because I didn't want anybody to know I skipped school, and then I had to tell the truth. I couldn't lie on top of it. So then my friend and I, we went into Sister's office in the morning, and then we were so scared. And then we stood talking to her on her desk, and Peggy, my friend, she put her little finger on top of my little finger, and we got the giggles, and we started, because we were so scared we didn't know what to do. And poor sister, she didn't know what to do with us. But anyway, she told us we shouldn't do that. It's not nice. Then when we got our report cards, our priest, who was a little, he had a, kind of a big tummy, and he was real jolly. And when they'd come in to give us, or he'd come to give our report cards, and he'd call your name, and he'd say, Phyllis Logan. I stood, you had to stand up, and then he'd read your report card, and then
out loud in front of everybody, guys.
Everybody. Terrible. And he'd just comment on. He wouldn't read every grade. Well, he said, you were one of the smart ones that skipped school and got an F on your report card. I said, yes, Father. And I was done, just about falling through the floor. And he said, next time you want a day off, come and see me. Oh, 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 oh. Oh, I was so relieved. Boy, I never skipped school again. So that was the baddest thing I ever did that I can remember. And I can't forget it either.
I know, I have you tell the story, I think, almost every year, so.
Yeah, I tell it every year. I told it one time at Sacred Heart, too, and they called and asked me if I'd have something to say about when I went to Sacred Heart. Uh-oh. Benji was in high school, then my grandson was in there listening to me.
Oh.
Well, he was such a nice boy, he never would have skipped school, would he, Laura?
Oh, never.
So?
Excellent. Well, hey, you know what? I think we got to thank Phyllis. We have to give Phyllis a big thank you. Woo-hoo! Unfortunately, we have 2 people missing today. Woo-hoo! Thank you very much. And we love you, Phyllis. So, thank you.